Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 2 of my 7-day recording challenge, and I thought I'd do something a little bit different. So, since we're nearing the end of the 2023 calendar year, I thought I'd take you through all of the things that I hope to be able to test in 2024. So this is my to test or to sample list on Fragrantica, and I'm going to take you through it. If you've tried anything on this list, I would love to hear what your thoughts on them are and whether or not I should prioritize them. Or, if you'd like, you could leave a comment with anything that you're really hoping to test in 2024. With that said, let's dive in. Okay, so the first one on my list is A Parfum by On de Meulemeester. This is a brand new release from 2023, and it's by the designer On de Meulemeester, who is an influential Belgian designer. She had until recently her own house, but now she's no longer the lead designer of that house. The house still exists, but she's now releasing a perfume under her own name. And the notes sound really, really cool. I've heard a lot of different things about what it potentially might smell like. But I think this might be the one that I'm least likely to actually get my nose on in 2024 because its distribution is extremely limited. I think you have to either blind buy a full bottle. It's 100 ml extrait de parfum, and I think it's like $450. So I won't be doing that. Or you can sample it in the On de Meulemeester flagship store in Antwerp, Belgium. And the likelihood of me getting to Antwerp in 2024 is low. Anyway, so that is high on my to sample list, but low on the likelihood list. Next here I have Grand Chalet by Astier de Viat. This is a Paris-based ceramics company, but they also make candles and perfumes. And I just got my first Astier de Viat candle today in the mail, actually, and I'm really, really pleased with it. But they have a line of eau de colognes, which I'd be interested to try, and Grand Chalet is probably the one that I'm most interested to try. It's a linden blossom-based fragrance. But they have like 6 or 7, and they're all relatively affordable. So they're on the list for 2024. Next up are 2 from the House of Boyds of Texas. The first one is called Texas Lavender, and the second one is Yellow Rose of Texas. And I think Yellow Rose of Texas is like a rose cumin based fragrance, and the Texas Lavender is like a dirty lavender fragrance. I think some of the comments say that it smells like a hippie yoga studio, and that's probably why it caught my attention. But it's like a little indie house out of San Antonio, Texas, and I don't know, it's caught my eye, and hopefully I can get my nose on it in 2024. Okay, so the next 12 of these fragrances are Cartier fragrances. If you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I'm on a big Cartier kick right now. And these are some that I haven't yet had the chance to get my nose on. So the first one is a 2020 release. It's Cartier's Declaration Parfum, which is a reworking of Jean-Claude Ellena's original Declaration, which I think is from the mid-90s. And this is a rework by Mathilde Laurent, who's the current in-house perfumer, who I just love. And it gets glowing reviews across the spectrum of the internet, so I gotta get my nose on that one. The next is Goutte de Rose. I don't know how that word's pronounced actually, but it's a flanker of Eau de Cartier. I recently tried another flanker of Eau de Cartier called Zeste de Soleil, and it was brilliant. They're just like very, very wispy eau de colognes, but this one is incredibly hard to find because I guess it has cult status and it's discontinued, so we'll see. The next 6 are from the Les Ors collection, or the Les Ors Voyageuse collection. And happily, I actually just bought samples of all of these. So the first is L'Or Défendu, which is like a chocolate patchouli thing. L'Or Follet, which I think is the Crazy Hour. And that one is like a bunch of different kind of berries, like currants and blueberries and boxwood and shiso and aldehyde. It's a really kind of crazy ingredient list, but I'm excited about trying that one when it comes in the mail. L'Heure Fuguse is It's supposed to be kind of like a daytime version of L'Eau Treizième with like mate and horsehair and magnolia. It sounds really, really good. Oud and Oud is from the Oud collection, and it's obviously, I guess, a lot of oud. I think it's supposed to be two different kinds of oud, so that'll be cool. Oud and Rose, which is supposed to be the most animalic from the Oud or the Les Ors Voyageurs collection. Oh, Oud Radeau, which I actually haven't got my hands on a sample of yet. That one seems kind of hard to find. The next one is Pacha de Cartier Parfum. I don't know what year this was released, fairly recently as well, but it also gets good reviews, and I'd like to try it. The next two are Cartier Roadster and Roadster Sport, and I think both are discontinued, and I don't think they were in production for a very long time. And I'm not even really sure what the notes are on Roadster, the original. I think it's mint. Yeah, mint, vetiver, patchouli, vanilla, labdanum, and bergamot. So it sounds nice. I think it's another Mathilde Laurent creation, and I'm always interested to try what she has to say. So we'll see how that goes. And the last Cartier I want to try is Santos, which, again, I'm not even really sure on the notes on Santos, but it's a 1981 Cartier designer men's fragrance. So looking forward to get my nose on that. Okay, the next one is a brand new release from Celine. So I just tried a Celine Discovery set, but the only fragrance I haven't tried from them yet is the new one, Cologne Celeste. And this is supposed to be, I think the ones that I tried were all eau de parfum, and this one is an eau de cologne. Supposedly they're coming out with a whole line of eau de colognes. This first one has notes of iris, ambrette, and lemon, I think. So it sounds really, really nice. But it wasn't included in my discovery set. I guess I've just got to get over to the store and smell it sometime soon. Next up, there's two Chanels, and honestly, I'm not a big Chanel person. I mean, I love number 5, but most of them just don't really work out all that well for my needs or my lifestyle. But I've tried number 19, the EDT, and I have enjoyed how it smells, and I'd like to try the Parfum at some point. But I think it might be difficult to sample because it's a splash and it's very expensive, but we'll see. And the other one is Chanel's Cristal, which I think is like openly, they've announced that it's being reformulated this year. So it'd be cool to try an older sample of it. These next 4 in the matching bottles are fragrances from the Chloé Ateliers des Fleurs collection. I've smelled a few from this collection, once when I was in Paris and once when I was in New York, and I was surprised by how much I liked each of them. But I've actually tried this first one, Hibiscus Abelmoschus, which is an ambrette, kind of rosy geranium thing. It's really good. I'd like to try it again. Jasminum Sambac is a jasmine fragrance. Lavanda is the lavender one. They're each based on like Soliflor things. And the last one is Ilang Kananga. And I think these ones with the green labels might be exclusive to Harrods. And there's a few of them. There's like an oak, etc. Yeah, I'd like to try more of these Chloe perfumes, but they're kind of hard to come across. Here's a Lone Creed. This one is Iris Tuberose, and I just think that that combination sounds novel. I wouldn't mind smelling that if I got a sample. This next one is L'Homme de Coeur by Divine Perfumes or Parfums, which is like a niche house from Paris, but they're kind of like from the 80s. I've smelled a few things from them, and they're all surprisingly very nice. They're all a little bit synthetic. They're not like the super highest quality, but they all have nice compositions. I think I actually have a sample of L'Homme de Coeur, but I guess I could go sample it right now if I wanted to. Next up is Private Collection from Estee Lauder. This one is a green fragrance that's kind of a classic. I think it's probably kind of hard to sample it. Like, I don't think there's many samples out there, and I don't think it's sold at Estee Lauder counters anymore. So if I were going to buy it, I'd have to buy like a cheap partial bottle from the past, but we'll see. These next 2 are from Etro, which people have been saying is an underrated designer house, and you can get some pretty good deals on them online. So there's 2. I'd like to try Etro Dianthus, which is a carnation soliflor kind of thing, and also Etro Musk, which is supposedly a very close dupe of Le Labo's Gaiac 10. So we'll see about that. This next one on the list is Bigarade Concentré by Frederick Malle. I like Frederick Malle, but I don't own any full bottles from this house, but I wouldn't be opposed to. The notes on Bigarade Concentré sound really interesting, I think. It's bitter orange, rose, grass, hay, cedar. I was thinking that there was probably also cumin, but maybe that's in the original Bigarade. But this is one I'd really like to get my nose on in 2024. This next one here is supposed to be just like a really, really super great jasmine fragrance. It's Grandiflora's Madagascan Jasmine, and I'll probably try to get a sample of that from Lucky Scent if I order something else this year. This one's kind of a holdover. I actually have smelled this one now. It's Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria Forte Oud Yuzu, and it was nothing really all that interesting. I wouldn't go out of my way to sample it again. I tried it on skin in a department store. It was whatever. This one is a discontinued selection from the Hermescence collection from Hermes. It's Paprika Brazil, and it has just like weird, quirky notes like bell pepper and some kind of Brazilian wood. I don't know why, but it caught my eye and it made the list. These next two have been all over YouTube being pushed by the usual like hype train YouTubers, but they still sound interesting to me. It's the House of Ubagon. The first one is Figuier Noir, which is a fig scent. I've been really into fig scents lately. And the other one is Fougère Royale, which is a reinvention of one of the first men's fragrances ever from like the late 1800s, the first Fougère. So even though they've been hyped to death over YouTube, I'm still kind of interested in this house. I think the bottles are really pretty. Also, it's owned by the same company that produces Paris Monte Carlo, which is a house that I like, so I'm interested to smell these. The next three are from Les Nereids, or it's actually, they're all produced by a perfume house in Grasse called Honoré Payon. So whether they're Les Nereids or Honoré Payon, they're Poudre de Musc and Papanax and Oriental Lumpur. I actually have now a decant of a Papanax, and I have lots of thoughts about it, which I need to share. It was sent to me by my friend Kelly, but I would still like to try these other two in 2024. Next up is Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Oud, just the Oud. So there's Oud Satin Mood, Oud Silk Mood, and then just Oud in the current Oud lineup for MFK. And I've actually tried Oud Extrait, the Extrait version, which I didn't really like. But for some reason, I'm on like an Oud exploration kick now, and I'd like to try Oud, the non-Extrait version. This next one is from MDCI. It's Pêche Cardinal. I don't even really remember the notes. It's a peach something or another. Oh wow, yeah, this is a lot of... Maybe I don't want to try this one. I don't really like plum as a note, and I kind of am leaning away from Artemisia as well. And lily is really hit or miss for me, so we'll see. If this one is easy to sample, I'll sample it in 2024, but if not, maybe it doesn't need to be on this list. These next two are ouds from the House of Maison Cyr, and I actually got them as samples today from Lucky Scent with my candle purchase. They're Perfect Oud and Ideal Oud, and I'm wearing, I think it's Ideal Oud right now, which is a rose oud. It's basically MFK's Oud Satin Mood, but less sweet. And it smells nice. It's nothing to write home about, but they're also, this house, I don't know why, is like super expensive, like more expensive than Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And many of the scents from this house actually seem like blatant ripoffs of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, so I don't really know what's up with that. The next two are from the House of Naomi Goodsir. This is Corpus Equus, and this one is Nuit de Bakelite. But, you know, I've already tried Nuit de Bakelite, and it's really, really good. It's probably not something I'd ever want a bottle of, because it's a really big, heavy perfume, but it was beautiful. Corpus Equus is supposed to be like a horse-inspired leather perfume, very animalic. I don't know. I think I'm one of those people who hears animalic, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that. This one is Pure Musk by Narciso Rodriguez. It's a feminine targeted release, but I've actually tried this one before too. I've just been looking for like a all-around easy to wear musk fragrance, and there's a few that I like, but I want to try this one again to see if that would fit the bill. This one is a random discontinued fragrance from Nikolai Parfums that I'd like to try. I think the name is Le Tome d'un Fête. It is, if I can remember correctly, a narcissus-based fragrance. I really like the note of narcissus, but anyway, this is a small house. This fragrance is discontinued. It seems unlikely that I'll be able to try it in 2024. The next four are all from Papillon Perfumery. They're Hera, Angelique, Salome, and Tobacco Rose. I don't really know why they're here. They get a lot of praise in some circles of fragrance community. None of them really get me going. I know that Kicki from, I forgot what her channel is actually called, but she's a Swedish fragrance reviewer. She has recently been talking about Angelique and saying it's like one of the greatest fragrances she's ever tried. It's like a big white floral, and she really loves it. And I think there's Angelica and some other green notes, so maybe it'd be nice to try that one. And then I think I just added the rest on. But I've actually tried, I think, Anubis from this house, and it didn't move me, so maybe I'm being overly generous in including 4 of their fragrances here. The next 3 are from a house where, again, I don't really know why I have them here, but I must have been on a kick one night and added a few of them to this list. These are from Parfum de Empire. The first one is Equestris. This one is Le Cri de la Lumière. And the last one is Vetiver Bourbon. They just sound nice. I think they're probably all a little formal leaning from what I've been able to gather from reviews, but we'll see. If they're easy to sample, I will sample them in 2024. The next 2 are from Paris Monte Carlo. The first one is Jasmine de Paix, and I think it's just like a jasmine soliflor with maybe like marigolds and cloves or something. And Ylang Ylang Nosy Bee gets a lot of hype in like women's fragrance community YouTube, and I do like Ylang Ylang a lot, so we'll see. They're pretty easy to sample. The next one is one that another YouTuber that I watch, Kelly, has talked about. It's glue wine from Pinewood, and I haven't tried anything from this house yet, but this one is like cherries and cranberries and dark chocolate. It sounds really, really interesting, and so I'd like to get my nose on that one. These next 2 are from a cheapy house called Reminiscence, and it's oud and musk, and I think they're just really basic fragrances, but they get pretty good reviews. They're pretty inexpensive, and so I'd like to try them if possible in 2024. This next one is from an Italian perfumery house called Santa Maria Novella. It's Melograno, which means pomegranate, but apparently it's not at all fruity. It's like a soapy oak moss fragrance, very classic. It gets really glowing reviews, so I'd like to sample that one if I can. And these last 2 are from a house that is actually defunct. It no longer exists. It's called Tabali. This one is Spring Snow, and the other one is White Storage. And really, I think they just ended up here because they have pretty bottles. So that's my list of things to sample in 2024. If there are things that you think that I would like that I should add to this list, feel free to let me know. And also, definitely let me know if there's things that you're excited to try in 2024. I'll have another video for you tomorrow, but until then, see you soon.